Family, what's good? What's good? Look, I gotta tell you guys something, right? So a lot of people contact me about custody battles. A lot of people contact me about, 50-50 split with their kids or whatever the case might be, right? But let me explain something, right? Whether you are sovereign or not, right? When two individuals have a child, right? And let's just say they get the child a birth certificate and etc., right? But let's just say they don't get the social security number, right? Now, your child is private as long as two of the owners of that child keep the child private. Remember, the owners of a child, until they get to the appropriate age, will be the mother and the father, right? Now, those are the people that have all unalienable rights to their child, right? They can do whatever they want with their child. They can do anything, right? Now, with that being said, family, I want you guys to understand me clearly, right? So, when you're in a position or anything like that where your significant other or your ex or baby mama, whatever the case might be, let's just say if they trying to file a custody battle, let's just say if the relationship doesn't work and now the person that you with is filing a custody battle. But let me explain something, right? Just because, that person filed for a custody battle or whatever the case might be, that does not mean you could just file a lien and just expect the kids to be fully yours. I had people call me and say, hey, what if I put liens on my children? What if I file a UCC against my children? You still got to understand, whether you file a lien against your children, whether you file a UCC lien against your children, or whatever the case might be, you still got to understand that you and the father both share responsibility. And your child is private as long as you doesn't involve your child into any public affairs. So if you want to have a private, have your child in the private and everything like that, do everything privately. Now, if you can't come to an agreement, that's when you will take it to the public, and that's one way you don't want to go. So you have to be mindful of whoever you have kids with. I'm not trying to get in anyone's business or whatever the case might be, but many people are contacting me because they voluntarily, with the person that they slept with, bringing the child to the public. Y'all have to have the same beliefs. Not one person. Listen, one person can't think like a slave and then the other person thinking to be free, and then you guys can cohabitate together. No, if you want to be sovereign, marry or date or have kids with somebody who want to be sovereign. If you want to be a slave, if you want to follow the government, if you want to follow the vaccinations and everything like that, then you can date a person who's a slave and who follow these vaccinations. But you cannot try to thinking that you can have full ownership over your child and you splitting your child with another individual. That just say for me, right? I'm sovereign. I believe in sovereignty. I don't believe in enrolling my children in public schools. I don't believe in enrolling my children to public education. I don't believe that our children should have a social security number, right? Now, my wife, she shared the same beliefs. So by her sharing the same beliefs as me, it's very easier to raise our children, right? But if you have someone who claim to be sovereign and want to be sovereign and want to go through these the filing trust and UCCs and all that stuff, if you want to operate in the private, you have to get to a point where you conversate with the person you had kids with and discuss remedies that works for both of you guys, so you guys do not have to take it to the public. I have so many brothers claim that they're on child support who are in the sovereign movement. I have many sisters who claim to going through custody battles and they dealing with sovereignty. But I always tell them, listen, the person you had kids with, did you at least try to contact them and negotiate a deal? Well, I can't work with them. If you cannot work with the person you had kids with, you damn sure not going to get anywhere far with dealing with these administrative courts, because you taking the kids from private to public. Now you got CPS in your business. And then you got what's the other one I'm looking for? Like, Child Protective Services and everything like that. Now you got the state in your business. Now your job and everything like that is now going to be involved with the state, because now the state is taking money out of your check through garnishing your wages. You don't want to do that, family. You do not want to do that at all. And if you are in a situation like that, it's only up to you, the person you had kids with, to decide what y'all going to do, not what the court want to do. Because guess what the court going to do? The court going to make sure that someone pays child support. The court is going to make sure that they are enforcing a legal action against you and your children. Because guess what? It's like tug of war almost, right, with the child. You in custody court. The person you had kids with, you go to court and argue with the kids. It's like tug of war. And guess who snatched the kid from the middle? The state. So you really signing the child off to be a ward of the state. You are signing the child off to be owned and controlled by the state, and you're putting yourself at jeopardy to losing your kids to the state, especially if you guys have domestic violence or any sort of violence that's in a relationship. And also, I'm gonna tell you another thing, right? They would even attempt to take your kids. If, let's just say, if you got a person that you had kids with who got a slave mentality, and they want to get the child's social security number, and you refuse to get the child's social security number, now DCFS will take your kids, and the person who wants the social security number, they're going to give them the court going to give them full custody, and the person you had kids with can apply for a social security number with your child, because realistically speaking, even if you don't want that to happen, you and the person you had kids with have 50-50 ownership. So if you decide to go get the child vaccinated, the mother can't do anything. If the mother decides to go get the child a social security number, the father can't do anything. That's why you have to have kids equally yoked as far as the same belief system. Because if they think like a slave, you got to understand that you're going to be paying for the consequences about that. You're going to be paying for those consequences. You're going to be paying for the mistakes and the wrongdoings of everything that pertaining to your child, because you put yourself in that position. You have to come to a common ground. I don't care if you feel, if you don't feel up about this person, or you don't have positive, you don't have a positive history with this person. You still have to sit that person down and come to a common ground where both people can agree. If not, it's not going to be right. I see so many brothers playing sovereign, and they still in the public dealing with their kids because of the choices that they made, and not even trying to rationalize with the woman they had kids with. They rather go to the court. So if you rather go to the court, why did you ask me for all these remedies? They say, oh, I want to do these remedies. Listen, even if we did the remedies, even if you filed a UCC lien on your children, even if you put your children under a trust, that still doesn't take any rights away that the mother rightfully had to the child. And I think a lot of these processes go over these people's mind, and I want to get you guys to understand it's not what you guys think. You have to find a common ground with the person you had kids with. If not, it's not going to work at all, family. I'm out. Peace and love.